premise of Mark Twain is just to do what Murdoch does every season, bring in a famous historical figure and have some fun with them. And Mark Twain was doing speaking tours of the world at the time and actually become something of an anarchist or a liberal or a free spirit. He seemed like a natural fit. William Shatner came to our attention through a series of tweets that Yannick and Mr. Shatner started engaging in.
Mr. Twain, welcome to Canada.
Well, it was a robust one.
Yes. A fan suggested to Bill, said, hey, William Shatner, when are you going to do an episode of Murdoch Mysteries? And I was included in that. And then he replied, I don't know. And I thought, there's an opening. It sounds kind of positive, so I retweeted it. And then he immediately replied, and he goes, I saw that. I then got an email right away to the gang and said, let's get on top of this and try and make this happen. And then it did.
Mr. Twain, it's an honor to meet you.
Well, the honor is both yours and mine.
I guess maybe the biggest star that we've had. I mean, as far as international, any nook and cranny of the world you'd go to, they'd know who William Shatner is.
I've got hundreds of creditors on my back.
Are any of those creditors from Toronto?
Well, Puss. You don't think...
Two main motives for murder, Mr. Twain. Love and money.
It's just different character. Worked on the accent. He was tall and thin and had bushy gray hair, and I don't, and I'm not. It's an impression, I guess. The only evidence we have of his existence, except for his writings, of course, are his pictures. We don't have a recording of him. We don't know how he spoke. He was a Southern gentleman, I think theatrical, so that these large personalities, when you meet them, are just ordinary human beings, but they get on stage and they become something else.
You know, when you've lived as long as I have, you have the right to change your mind. And that's what I'm going to do here tonight. I'm going to change the minds of those of you who believe that women should not have the right to vote.
You can't take your eyes off him when he's doing a scene. He's so charismatic. We shot a scene a couple of days ago where he addresses Ogden's group of suffragettes, and he reads this little short thing that he's written. 9 takes into the day. You just watch him read it every time. It's great.
I wouldn't say I was a Trekkie by the definition. I was always a fan of William Shatner's, absolutely. I grew up watching the show as a boy, and then watching him and watching the cast as an actor.
My sister was a total Trekkie, and she had control of the television most of the time. So I watched a lot of Star Trek as a child.
The first movie I ever saw in a theater, my dad took my brother and I to The Wrath of Khan. I'm a huge fan, and it wasn't a real stretch as far as an acting job, because you do a scene with him and you're sort of like, holy cow, it's William Shatner, and the heart rate rises a little bit, and the sweaty palms maybe, and I hope I don't screw up, and I think that's probably how Crabtree would have felt.
I think everybody was a fan of Star Trek, certainly as a part of my growing up. Kirk, McCoy, Spock, and that were, a part of my life. I think a larger-than-life figure, William Shatner, playing a larger-than-life figure, Mark Twain, is indeed right for the role.
Take it from me, son. Reality can be beaten with enough imagination.